In today's chess puzzle, we have a position between GM Levon Aronian and GM Teimour Radjabov. Both these players, two of the best chess players in the world, and this position is something quite fantastic. This puzzle happened during the FIDE Candidates Tournament in 2013. Subscribe and feed my family, please. Yeah, see, please feed Bleed's family. Like, all you gotta do is sub. It's free. Come on. Levon is on white. Levon has 4 pawns, a bishop, and 2 rooks. Teimour has 4 pawns, a bishop, and a queen. So it's a queen for 2 rooks, which, depending on the situation, can be an equal position or it can be favorable one way or the other. It provides some sort of imbalance. And in this position, we're going to try to be finding the win for white, because here there is a sequence of pretty much only moves that leads to a victory for white if you can find them. So I want you to pause the video here and see if you can find the solution. Both kings, white and black, have lots of weak squares around them that could potentially be targeted, right? So both kings have space. Neither king is like completely safe. Black is also very close to promotion. So time is of the essence here for white. All of white's moves need to be what we call fast moves. And when I say fast, I don't mean that you need to make them quickly in terms of your time on your clock. I mean, you can't give your opponent free moves to just do whatever, because if white just, like, say, plays rook d2, black queens, rook e2, you're about to get mated very shortly as white. So you have to play all your moves with a purpose. All your moves have to have some sort of either a threat or accomplish a check, threat, winning material, some sort of activity. When we look at some of the top moves by the engine, moves number 3, 4, and 5, the 3rd, 4th best and 5th best moves, are all losing moves, and they all involve attacking this passed pawn in some way, either with something like rook a7 or rook e takes on e2, sacrificing the rook, or something like bishop e4 with the idea to deflect the queen away from the pawn so that white can win it. However, black can actually just sacrifice the queen here and will promote to make a new one, and it's just winning. So none of these ideas actually work for white. The second best move for white is a drawing move, the move g4. G4, if you play this move, plays for basically a completely equal position. If g4, black needs to find only move bishop f6, which is nuts. And now if you take the bishop, now you can make a queen and you're totally fine, which is hilarious because this rook is threatening to take this pawn and it deflects so you can make a queen. There's one move here. One move that white can play for a win is rook e7, threatening to capture this pawn on h7. And if black were to simply make a queen here, rook takes h7 is just mate 1. The game is just over. So black cannot queen. Now, pretty much every move for black is losing here, and some of the top engine moves actually involve sacrificing material. Like, one of the best lines is to play sacking the bishop on g7 before playing what's actually the best move, which is kind of funny. Or something like queen f1, literally sacrificing your queen to make a new queen to try to get a tempo on you. The actual best move here to play, king h5 is an idea, but you're not actually stopping this from happening. And then the king's gonna wind up going out in the opening and probably they're going to get mated, or the queen's going to have to get sacrificed, or rigmarole is correct. G5, opening up the line of vision for your queen to defend this pawn. And now if white were to take, you can actually sack the queen for the 2 rooks. You're making a new queen, and now black's completely winning, so white can no longer continue with that game plan of going for this pawn. But now white has something different. G5 not only opens up this line of defense, but it also actually threatens to capture on h4, which is exactly what black will do if white plays a slower type move here. So for example, if white just like moves their bishop back, you're potentially even threatening to take this as black, and now you're attacking white. There's one move here that plays for a draw, one move here that plays for a win, and every other move is losing for white. Bleed has the correct idea here. Now the second best move is rook check on e6. If rook e6, there is the fantastic queen blocks on g6, because if you take the queen, you're going to promote your other queen at all times. White constantly has to be worried about some sort of promotion happening. Rook e6 does not work. The correct move is bishop e4. And remember, previously we could not play bishop e4 because we said there is takes, and then promotion, because the queen will just sacrifice for the bishop And then after the rook takes, there's a new queen. But there's a difference here. Back here, we could not play bishop e4. Why couldn't we play bishop e4 here, but we can play it in the next position? Rook e7, pawn push, bishop e4, now take. The difference is the g5 pawn has been pushed, and now this makes all the difference. What's crazy is we're going to look at what happens if queen a1. Queen a1 is not actually the top engine move. It's the most human move. The top engine move is also a losing move though, which is king h5, but we're not really going to look at king h5. It's a slightly slower way to get checkmated, but it's still losing. This is the move that black will play. Make a queen on a1, and that's why we couldn't play bishop e4 prior, because queen on a1. But now what does white have access to? The move that was not available to us in the position before was rook e6 check, because the pawn was here. And now that we have rook e6 check, there's really only two moves that are legal in this position. And I'll give you a hint. The first legal move, which is blocking with the bishop, is not what you want to do, because you're going to have to sacrifice probably your queen as well. It's not checkmate yet, but it's completely crushing for white, who now just has a full extra rook. So instead, we're going to play king h5. This check does not work here because there is king g6. I mean, top engine move here is either rook d7 or rook e7, and you're too slow. You're giving black an opportunity to get back into the game. You need to check with the rook and force basically what is an only move, king to h5. And now, what is the follow-up here for white? g4, correct. We do not take this pawn. If you take this pawn, king g4, and it is actually in equal position again. If something like rook e4 check, just king f5. There's nothing here. Now you have to move this rook out of the way or it's just going to be lost. Like, there's no more checks. So you cannot take the pawn. The correct move is g4. A beautiful move, checking the king again. The king cannot escape. It cannot go back up this way. The king has to move down, and it can only take either the h pawn or the g pawn. And which pawn do you think black is going to take here? The correct answer, doesn't matter which pawn black takes. If black takes the h pawn, check on rook h6, and not with rook h7. We cannot check with rook h7 because this rook is covering this file from the king's long-term eventual escape. Rook on e6 check. King takes g4 is forced, and now a beautiful f3 mate, which would not be possible if you move this rook. We take, and the king has an escape square. And if the king decides to take the g pawn instead, we just uno reverso them. Now we start with the pawn check, and then we check with the rook, and it's just GG's. Uno, dos, either way, this and this is happening. It's unstoppable. Just in case anyone's curious, in the actual game between Levon and Teimour, Levon did find rook e7, and then Teimour did play g4. But after bishop e4, Teimour resigned because he saw, I mean, really his only option is to take this, otherwise checkmate is incoming soon. And after he takes, he calculated all this whole idea. It was losing, so in this position, on move 35, Teimour Radjabov resigned in this FIDE candidates game. If you're watching on YouTube and you like the video, consider subscribing. And if you like chess content, check out this other video here on the screen. It's pretty great. You'll probably enjoy it. Maybe a tournament or a tier list or a game review. Boom.